This last news story comes to us from VGC, written by Andy Robinson. Nintendo releases official magazine in English. Nintendo has released its Japan-only official magazine in English, published on Friday. The summer edition of Nintendo Magazine, which is usually given away in Japanese stores, such as Nintendo Tokyo and other locations, is now available to read digitally in English language. Nintendo notes that because the magazine is intended for the Japanese market, some information such as pricing and release dates are not accurate for the global audience. However, the summer edition does include a variety of features on upcoming Switch games such as Nintendo World Champions NES Edition and The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. As of this week, the Nintendo Switch has now officially had the longest lifespan of any Nintendo home console predecessor. Since its worldwide launch on March 3rd, 2017, 2,687 days have passed without the arrival of the successor console, meaning Switch's lifespan has officially beaten Nintendo's previous longest-lasting console, the Famicom, which was 2,686 days. Nintendo confirmed in May that it will announce its next console this fiscal year, meaning the Switch's successor will be revealed by the end of March 2025 at the latest. This isn't, again, earth-shattering news, but I thought this was cool. I looked it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I looked it up. I was reading it. It basically just made me wish there was a paper version in English, because I was like, man, my kids would love this. Like, just to flip through this and have this in their room on their shelf. Like, you had a great idea that I think you should share. Well, you asked. You're like, oh, I wonder if they're going to do something with this. And I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to start sending them over this way, and if they're going to start handing them out at the Nintendo store in San Francisco when it opens next year.
Yeah, because they just recently.
I feel like that'd be perfect.
Because there's a Nintendo store in New York, or no? There's not one at all.
Okay, it's only going to be New York and San Francisco.
Okay, so yeah, I wonder if with the new flagship store they'll drop it here in America, probably in both stores, but like as a celebration. Dude, that would be sick.
Dude,
like we could start getting paper.
Dude, I'm still so stoked about that. A whole Nintendo store just like minutes away from the house.
That's going to be so good. When is it supposed to be done? Do they have dates?
They just said 2025, so I'm sure they're already like got permits in place and they're getting material shipped in and all that.
Yeah.
So, oh man, I'm
so sick.
My whole wardrobe is just gonna be Nintendo stuff. I can't wait.
Man, is there a Pokemon store in America? Is there just
it's in the Nintendo store.
Okay, so they have a Pokemon store in the Nintendo store in New York. I wonder, are they going to do something similar in San Francisco, do you think, or will they just?
I imagine.
Okay.
The plaza that they have it in, the buildings are really, really tall, like multi-story. Okay. So they can almost do something like Nintendo New York. Okay. But I also want them to make it its own thing, like differentiate it from New York. So that way you have a reason to need to go to both.
Yeah, that would be sick. Go to the Nintendo store in the Pokemon Center. Man. Mm-hmm. So cool. So cool. So jealous that you're so close to it too. I mean, I'm relatively close. I'm your plug, man.
You let me know what you're looking for. I'll go down there and take a look, see what I can find.
Oh, but that's not to say I want to experience it too. I want to breathe in the air, the Nintendo air, and all that Japanese dust.
I can tell you what though, even though I don't collect games physically anymore, I definitely want to go to like a midnight launch event. You know they're gonna have them.
Heck,
you know they're gonna have them
for the new console. Get your Switch.
No, it's not gonna be done. It's not gonna be done by then.
They said
the console will be out before the store's done. I feel like they're gonna need at least a year, like if they started now. So it'll probably be mid to late 2025.
I mean, they could just delay the release of the console.
If they hightail it.
They could just delay the console to be mid to late 2025.
They already delayed it once.
I mean,
as far as we already delayed it once.
As far as we know, like they're not releasing it until, I mean, we just read in the article, until at the latest they could announce it
October, I think.
March of 2025. They could announce it March 2025, which means
I'm talking about the ideal.
Which means it might not come out until mid to late 2025 if they announce at the last possible moment they could within their fiscal year. That could happen. It's not ideal. It'd be fun. It'd be great to have the Switch 2 sooner, but imagine having it line up though and to go to like the release event.
I would 1,000%.
That would be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
Oh, and then just filming stuff.
I'm sure they have all sorts of like sick stuff going on too. Just like little like fun little like game corners and stuff like that, and characters there, and like I'm sure they judge it up and have all sorts of fun stuff going on. Oh, so cool. Carrie says, still say it needs to be called the Super Switch. Oh man, yeah.
I agree with you, but and I would call it that, the Super Nintendo Switch. But when you think about the mass market, you know, and how the majority of people are not savvy, like, you know, you and I and anybody who's in the room, or like anybody who follows games closely, you just need to keep it as simple as possible and just call it Switch 2.
Yeah, or a completely different name altogether, like they have done also, where it's like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, and then all of a sudden it's like GameCube. Like, all right, Wii. Oh, okay,
but I feel like if you're gonna call it something completely different, it needs to be something completely different. You can't just do a Switch form factor again and not call it Switch, because everybody's just gonna call it Switch. So
true.
You know, if it was like another strictly home console, then you could call it something different. But if it's a portable hybrid again, they're just gonna call it Switch. So why not capitalize on that?
I mean, people figured out back in the day when they went Nintendo to Super Nintendo. So I don't see why people can't figure it out today.
Did they? Because I remember seeing old school articles of people being like, or parents being like, I don't know why my kid needs this. He already has the Nintendo at home. This plays games already just like it does. This one does. Why would I need this?
But that was like the birth of video games, where you think about it, a lot of the people buying these for their kids today are us.
Fair.
Like that just hit me. Like we're talking as if like those stupid grandparents who can't figure it out. I'm like, well, the grandparents are like my parents. My parents are big gamers, and the regular parents are me and other people our age. So it's like, yeah, maybe they wouldn't be so bad actually. a lot of the people who wouldn't understand it, they're long gone at this point, or you know.
Yeah. Carrie has a point in the chat. She said it's amazing how many people didn't understand Wii and Wii U. It is.
I was one of those people. I didn't understand.
Exactly. I was gonna say that honestly was like, I got that it was new hardware because I've been playing games for decades at that point, right? And you and me, but this is I can go. This could be a topic, dude. I'm telling you. They all make this stupid mistake. Okay. Wii U should have been Wii 2. Why did they do anything else but call it Wii 2? What about that console said it doesn't need to be a 2?
Right. Yeah, Wii U makes it sound like it's like almost as if it wasn't meant to be played with other people. Like it's just for you. Like, oh, the Wii was for your friends and the Wii U is not for your friends. It's just for you. But it's like, no, it's still supposed to be played.
But your friends can still bring their Wii remotes to use with this console. Not to mention the gamepad has the functions of a Wii, of a Wii remote. So it's dumb. And then Sony, same deal. PS Vita should have been PSP 2.
Yeah, there was.
What are we doing?
That didn't make any sense.
Why are we messing up a good thing? What about the Vita needed? What compelled Sony to call the what could have been the PSP to the Vita?
Yeah,
you completely PSP by the time Vita came out was already what is it called? What is that called? When it's prevalent in popular language,
like the market share.
No. I mean, they had mind share, yeah, but it was like a colloquialism at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like you knew what a PSP was if you played any kind of games. So why leave that branding that everybody already knows and put a 2 and everybody already knows, hey, that thing that everybody knows about, there's a new one. Boom, you're going crazy. I don't get it.
The only thing I could think of is because of the drastic change in how you acquired the games. I mean, it's still not like, yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of because it went from like the UMDs to like little cartridges, right? So that's the
right,
only
but
thing
it's
I can
still
think of.
it's still a portable PlayStation.
Oh yeah, it is. Like I think the name, you still could have played the name off with enough marketing and explaining. I think the only concern of Sony would be people being like, well, why can't I play my PSP games on it? Because at that point, PlayStation very much was in the backwards compatible camp where, all right, on my PS2, I can play my PS1. And well, at the beginning of the PS3 cycle, I can play PS1 and PS2 games on it. Like, so for the Vita to come out and then be like, oh, if it's PSP2, people are going to expect either it's going to run UMDs or they're going to be able to play their back catalog, and you can't.
I mean, I kind of feel like at that point, right? Like I don't know if they just didn't workshop enough on an upgrade path where like they had so much time from PSP Go to Vita. I feel like what was that? Like a 2-3 year gap.
Something like that, yeah.
That they couldn't have worked out some kind of program for you to, if you have UMDs or anything like that, that you can somehow turn it. Like they could have partnered with GameStop. You bring in a UMD, Sony gives you a code.
Oh yeah.
Because GameStop gives you a code to download.
Because you could play digital PSP games, right? Like if you had digital, okay.
Yeah, and then GameStop benefits because they get all those UMDs to sell.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know.
Just threw it all away.
I just talked about it.
Just threw it all away.
Threw it all away.
Yeah, with the Wii and Wii U thing, it was like a weird moment in time where I wasn't super deep into, like, I was still playing games, but I like wasn't deep into like what all the new stuff was. I was living internationally at that point. I was either, let's see, I was overseas. Yeah, I think I was overseas because I was living in Canada for a couple of years and I lived over in Papua New Guinea for a couple of years. So you don't get a lot of new video game news in the jungles of Papua New Guinea. So it was one of those things where I came back and everyone's talking about a Wii U. I'm like, what are you talking about? I remember looking up a picture and being like, it just looks like the Wii on its side.
Right.
With like a funny controller. I'm like, oh, so it's just so I thought it was just the controller. It was the Wii, like it was just like an accessory for it. And it was the longest time before I'm like, oh no, it's a new console. Okay. Like I was totally out of the loop on that one. But I had an excuse. I was out of the country for a few years. They don't have internet in Canada. They don't have internet in Canada.
But see, if you came back and said, oh, there's a Wii 2, you would have got it immediately.
Oh yeah, 100%. If it was a Wii 2, I'd be like, oh, we got to get one now.
Right.
Oh boy. Well, in any case, Nintendo, go check out that digital magazine. It's pretty sick. It's fun little read, fun little look at. And when the Nintendo store comes to San Francisco, maybe that's when we do the tattoos. We do a whole day of it. We go to the Nintendo store and we go get some video game tattoos together. There we go.
I'm down.
We planned it out. Got it all set in stone. Thank you so much for watching that clip from our podcast. Remember, if you want to watch the whole episode, the full episode, link will be in the description below. You can click on that and check it out. We got listener questions. We got more news segments. We got what you playing. We got a lot of fun things. So yeah, more than just the news. There's a lot more to the show that you should go check out. So remember, click that link in the description. Check out that full episode.